even if you're single or not single, you're at different stages. Maybe you just got into a relationship, everything's still hot and heavy. Maybe you've been in a relationship for 30 years, things aren't so hot and heavy anymore. Maybe you're single and you just got out of relationships, you're in that lonely, weird phase, and maybe you're single and you're still a virgin. So we're all at our different phases, right? But regardless of the phase, what we need to know is where do I want to be? What's the next step? What's the next phase for me? Hey guys, welcome to the What I Love About Men podcast. My name is Steph, and as a men's coach, I'm on a mission to help men prioritize themselves, take ownership over their challenges, set boundaries in their relationships, and much more, all while adding a female touch and perspective. I hope this podcast helps you. We need you men, and as a woman, I'm rooting for you. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to be talking about how to improve your sex life. Regardless of whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, how do you improve your sex life based on where you are right now? And I also want to welcome a bunch of you because one of my videos on Instagram went viral and my following count exploded. So there's a lot more of you hopefully listening to this right now, and I hope it gives you value and I hope you enjoy it. But welcome. I'm excited. And also, guys, if you have been listening to the podcast, I would love it if you could leave it a rating, especially a rating, which means you just scroll to the bottom of iTunes and click the amount of stars that you find appropriate to the value of this podcast. 5 stars is recommended. But if you leave a review, that's amazing. Thank you so much. But I'm just looking for the stars right now because I want to boost my ratings up to 100. That's my goal. So let's go into today's topic. I asked on Instagram, I asked you guys, what do you think you need to improve your sex life right now? And a bunch of guys said a partner or sex at all would be good. And a lot of you said, my mindset or desire or communication with my wife, or, I don't know how to communicate fetishes. I don't know how to have better experiences. I just don't know. That's why I'm on your page. I'm so glad I found your page because I'm learning more, or I'm looking for the answers, So I wanted to give you just kind of 3 steps that you can keep in mind in order to enhance your sex life from where it is. Like I said, whether you're with someone, whether you're not, because I know probably half of you guys that responded to that question said a woman. I really need help dating and connecting with someone in order to have sex. My sex life is completely dead because I'm not having it. And the first out of the 3 steps, get clear on what your ideal sex life is. Where are you trying to go? Because you guys are all different phases in life, right? And even if you're single or not single, you're at different stages. Maybe you just got into a relationship, everything's still hot and heavy. Maybe you've been in a relationship for 30 years, things aren't so hot and heavy anymore. Maybe you're single and you just got out of relationships, you're in that lonely, weird phase, and maybe you're single and you're still a virgin. So we're all at our different phases, right? But regardless of the phase, what we need to know is where do I want to be? What's the next step? What's the next phase for me? And so I'm going to ask yourself that right now. Maybe for the single guy who's having trouble finding dates, it's all right, how can I incorporate more dates into my routine and start flirting more on a daily basis? Because that's my next step or my next phase in order to get to a healthy sex life, is to feel comfortable flirting and showing a sexual part of me, as well as putting myself out there to make a connection with a physical person more available to me. Maybe you've been in a marriage for 30 years and your ideal situation for the next phase of your situation is I'm just trying to get to the point where we can touch each other again casually in the kitchen. Things have been so awkward. We've pulled so far away since kids and stressors from work and whatnot, that now we're at the phase where it's just weird to touch each other. It's weird to look directly into each other's eyes for longer than 2 seconds. That feels uncomfortable. Maybe your next phase is getting to the point where that stuff is comfortable again. Because at some point it was, right? So that could be your next phase. So number one is think about what your next phase is. According to your situation in your life, what's the next phase you're striving to move towards? Because to just have this goal of, I want hot, heavy sex every night, it's most likely not going to happen. And I know you guys don't say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like in our heads, when we think about, oh, I want to improve my sex life, we think of like the most drastic, unrealistic thing that can happen in a short amount of time, when really we need to set ourselves up for success, and we have to give ourselves a next phase or goal that actually is attainable within the next month or two, because that's going to keep us progressing, right? That's going to make us feel good about the direction our sex life is headed in versus, oh my God, this is impossible. So find a way to set yourself up for success by creating a next phase of, all right, this can be attainable in a month, and this is what I'm going to strive towards. All right, that's number one. Number two of improving your sex life right now is communicating. Oh, I'm sorry, not this one, sorry. Number two is self-confidence. So how are you building self-confidence in yourself? If you're not desiring yourself, it's going to be really hard to feel desired by a partner. All right, so how can you build, and there are many ways to build self-confidence. It's not just building desire in yourself, but it's addressing the anxiety you have when it comes to sex, right? Addressing your anxiety in general. When you feel a certain feeling, a sense of panic, a sense of uneasiness, why do you feel that way? You know, get to know yourself a little bit more, and that's when your confidence really shows. When you don't question the way you feel or the thoughts you think, that's when you can show your best self. Because when you know yourself inside and out, there's no worries, there's no concerns about how people will perceive you, because you know how you perceive you. And that's really all you need. So people get a lot of social anxiety, whether they're single or whether they've been in a relationship, like anxiety around what people's thoughts are or judgments are, because you're in a way judging yourself, or you're unsure about who you are to some extent. So self-confidence can mean finding ways to bring out your own attraction. Have you been pushing off the gym? You know you want to lose that 15 pounds because it will make you feel good, and it will make your body strong, and you'll stand a little taller. You know, you'll look better in your suit or your everyday outfit. Are you spending time alone? Or are you rushing out the door every time you have an uneasy thought because you just want to avoid it and you don't want to go there? Right? What about other forms of personal health? Like, are you addressing issues from your past, or are you running from them? Are you not forgiving? Are you living with a sense of anger or hurt? And there's this pain that you're just not seeing a therapist for, and you keep putting it off. Is your sleep struggling? Are you only getting 5 hours of sleep a night and you're not doing anything about it? We need to address these things, because until you really take care of you and you find ways to heal your mind and get your body in shape and feel good about yourself and actually understand yourself and why you do the things you do and why you have the thoughts you have, until you have this self-confidence about you, it's going to be very hard to do step 3, which is a huge part of the equation and what many of you are concerned with, and what I see many of you needing help with when you get on calls with me, and it's essentially what I help guys with. Number 3, you're probably like, right, what the fuck is number 3? Spit it out. Number 3 is communication around your needs and her needs. Like really listening and finding a way to understand what she wants more of, or what she wants less of, what works, what doesn't really work, et cetera, et cetera. And I want you to ask yourself right now, like, how do you communicate sexually with your partner at this point in time? Is it more a, feeling bad that you're not getting enough sex and kind of sulking or blaming her or like guilt tripping her when she finally decides to have sex, and it's like, oh, it's about time, or like, you never do this, and or is it you just turning her down and never wanting sex, but not really talking about it, just saying no and not explaining to her why, or not giving her reassurance of why you don't feel in the mood for sex, but you still care about her? Or are you single and you're in the situation where you're not able to communicate the sexual parts of you when you're with a woman? And maybe you just sexually shut down and you just turn on that platonic button or vibe and you're just like Mr. Nice Guy, friend zone. And this all has to do with lack of communication, right? Like we get caught in these patterns because we're not communicating, or we're just communicating the same way we always have, which gets us the same result we've always gotten. So this is really important for you to remember that if you're in any of these phases, right? Because we're talking about what phase you're at and where you want to go. There are different ways you need to communicate, but you need to do it differently and you need to advance it. And the best way to advance it, your communication, is to feel more confident in yourself. And what builds on confidence is knowing where you want to go in your sex life. We will be digging into more detail on topics like this in the future, but this is your 3 steps to start thinking about and improving on your sex life. So, hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can give this podcast a rating and a review if you want to be really nice. and yeah, otherwise that's it, guys. Have an amazing morning, evening, or night wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you soon.